I got asked a question a while ago about what were some of my favorite workouts ever. Just favorite CrossFit workouts ever. And that kind of got me thinking on the topic. And I started to compile a little bit of a list as to some of my top all time favorite workouts. And like anytime you try to compile a best ever list, it always seems to grow, and then you're trying to eliminate things and you're sad that you eliminated them. So I'm more, and the more workouts I put on the list that were some of my most favorite ever, I noticed more than the actual workouts themselves being maybe my favorite. There was definitely a common theme. And so then I kind of took the question in a different direction. It's like maybe identifying a favorite theme that I have for workouts would be illustrative of some programming concepts in general, because I get asked a lot of programming concepts and how to program and what makes a quote unquote good workout or a bad workout, and that's very subjective as well. But here's what I identified at the end of the theme. There are a lot of workouts in CrossFit that I feel really lucky and fortunate and blessed that they were created a long time ago and not created recently. And the reason that I say that is, and this could be just me, I'm totally open to the fact that I'm wrong. So let me state that. I'm open to the fact that I'm dead wrong on this. But I feel like some of the best workouts that were ever created came out a long time ago, and if they were created now, they wouldn't be as good. And I know that's vague, so I'll give you some examples. Helen. Helen is one of the most beautiful, gorgeous, quintessential, effective, and sneaky CrossFit workouts out there. And if anyone's unfamiliar with Helen, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, it's 3 rounds for time, 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, and 12 pull-ups. That's it. There's not even a barbell in it. Oh my goodness, how are you going to get fit without a barbell? So in the kettlebell swings, they're American. They're going overhead, and it's with a 53-pound bell for the gentlemen, 35-pound bell for the women. And the pull-ups are just kipping chin over bar pull-ups. And they're not even huge sets, right? It's 12s. And it's the quote-unquote light bell. And it's only 3 rounds. And I just feel like, and again, I'm open to the fact that I could be wrong, I just feel like if Helen never existed and it had to get programmed in 2021 or 2022, it would probably be 5 rounds, right? Because can't get fit from a 3-round workout. Come on. It's got to be 5 rounds. And, I mean, I would hope they'd leave the run in there, but since there's not a heavy barbell, they'd probably sneak one in somewhere because, my goodness, you have to have a heavy barbell. But let's just assume that they were kind enough to leave in the run, okay? And make it 3 rounds instead of 5. The kettlebell swings, they wouldn't be 21 with a 53 and a 35. I can almost guarantee that. You'd have to swing the heavy bell, right? It's got to be the 70 for the men. Got to be the 53 for the women. And then who's going to do 12 kipping chin over bar pull-ups per round? Come on. The Open's coming up. They've got to be chest to bar pull-ups. Got to be. Have to be. So I just feel like that workout would have the heavy bell and it would have to be chest to bar pull-ups. And it would just be a different workout. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be wrong. It would just be a different workout, which, not to go down a rabbit hole, but in the grand scheme of well thought out and intelligently designed programming taking into account variance, there's absolutely a day where that workout would fit with the heavy bell and the chest to bar pull-ups. Gotcha. But if we're getting back to what would serve most people, most of the time, the best, it would not be the workout with the heavy bell and the chest to bar pull-ups. What would serve most people the most well, if that's a phrase, most of the time, would be Helen how it was written. The lighter bell and the chin over bar pull-ups. Because again, and I've said this before, anybody who's with CrossFit Linchpin knows that I have an affinity for Helen. What's also so gorgeous about Helen, and a commonality with these workouts that have my heart, is there wonderful opportunities for the athlete to express intensity, okay, and not get bogged down unnecessarily. So even though Helen is profoundly difficult, and if you're somewhere on your fitness journey where 3 sets of 12 pull-ups seems like you're climbing Mount Everest, you're good to go. I respect that. I've been there. I understand that. But for a fair number of people, after some years of consistency, swinging that kettlebell 21 times is certainly within the realm of possibility, and 3 sets of 12 kipping chin over bar pull-ups is also certainly within the realm of possibility. And here's where the magic happens. When you find yourself in that group of athletes that you can quote unquote do Helen unbroken, right? Well, you can only swing that bell at a certain pace. Yes, you can try to pull it down, blah, 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 but you're kind of stuck at a pace. Maybe you're doing gymnastics, C-style pull-ups, and then you learn the butterflies, so you can shave some time off your pull-ups. I get that, but you're kind of stuck at a certain pace on the kettlebell swings and the pull-ups if you're doing Helen unbroken. And then where does that leave you with regards to improving your Helen time? You only have one option, and it is the option that scares most CrossFitters to death. You have to run faster. Run like the devil is chasing you. That's what makes Helen such a gorgeous, gorgeous workout, and I absolutely adore it. And I feel like if it didn't exist and it came to exist in 2021 or 2022, it would not be as beautiful because he would load it down unnecessarily, make the pull-ups chest to bar, blah, blah, blah. So Helen's up there for sure. Fran's another one. A simple couplet, 21:59 thrusters and pull-ups. Again, not a chest to bar pull-up. We almost see a common theme here, right? And these days, Fran's got a 95-pound barbell for men and a 65-pound barbell for women. That's almost gone the way of the dodo bird. That's almost like an extinct creature. Like, I'm not going to put a 95-pound barbell in a workout. Come on, don't you know how fit I am? Load it up. 115 would be the minimum, if not 135. I mean, yeah, but let's make Fran 15-12-9 of a 135 thruster and a chest to bar pull-up, if not ring muscle-ups maybe, for Pete's sake. And it's like, again, that's not right or wrong. It's just a different workout with a different intended stimulus that in the cycle of well thought out programming with variance, there's a place for that workout. But if getting back to the original question somebody asked me about some of my favorite workouts and why they're some of my favorite workouts, I get back to utility, kind of the Swiss Army knife where there's so many things that you can do with it. And getting back to what serves most people the best most of the time, it's going to be regular old Fran with that 95-pound barbell and the chin over bar pull-ups compared to Fran's heavy cousin, which obviously has its place. Because the truth be told, we're all wonderful creatures, right? Full of just potential and spirit and passion, but most of us are not in that 1% or the top half, the fraction of a 1% that we see at the Rogue Invitational or the games doing amazing things. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. And so for us, these other things serve us so well. We're in the 99%. And it's a great place to be. It's a wonderful place. We're always looking for new members. Come on in. So regular old Fran is fantastic. Another one that jumps to my mind that I would almost bet my life would never be programmed in 2021 because it would seem too simple. And again, there's no loading. There's not even a barbell in it. And it's probably more of a trap than almost anything else. And I know that's a bold statement where you don't see it coming. You can lure people into doing this. Cindy. If a more beautiful trap exists, I'm not sure what it is. Most of us pre-CrossFit in the old chest and tris back in By's days, we lived in the gym for like 90 minutes or 2 hours doing all kinds of workouts, right? Splitting up our cardio and things. So somebody who says, this workout's only 20 minutes long, you're like, only 20 minutes? Fine, what is it? Like, well, these things called rounds, and you have to do 5 pull-ups, and like, okay, 5, easy day, and you're letting me swing and, kip. 10 push-ups and 15 air squats with no weight. And you're just going to see, how many times can you do that in 20 simple minutes? No big deal. And everything's cool for the first minute and the second minute. And round 3, things are kind of good. And somewhere around 5, you're huffing and puffing. And somewhere at like round 6 or 7, you find yourself breaking up what was supposed to be these really 10 easy, laughable push-ups. And all of a sudden, you're wondering what the heck happened. And 20 minutes is a very long time. Cindy is a gorgeous, gorgeous workout that, again, I just don't think would get programmed in 2021. So I'm very happy that Cindy was born when Cindy was born, and all of us can enjoy that. And there's several other ones that fall directly into that category, offshoots, right? We're talking Barbara, Angie, Chelsea, things of that nature. That if you haven't played with some of those, you absolutely should. There's nothing like an Angie to go ahead and just humble you, or nothing like a Barbara. If you want to talk about some nasty interval training, go ahead and fire up Barbara. That'll get you where you need to be. That'll also help you identify if maybe you've been avoiding some things in your training. So those are wonderful as well. I think of a workout like Grace. Grace is a beautiful workout. 30 clean and jerks for time, 135 and 95. I guess I can call it simple, but how simple is that, right? And again, I'm glad it was created when it was created, because I feel like these days the bare minimum would be DT, which is a beautiful, elegant, effective, awesome workout in its own right. But I feel like that would be the baseline these days. Let's put 155 on the bar. Let's make it 5 rounds, which again has its place. But I'm very happy that Grace exists. Profoundly happy that Grace exists. And Randy, 75 power snatches at 75 pounds, a 75-pound barbell. We just talked about how a 95-pound barbell is a bit of an extinct creature. A 75-pound barbell? How dare you even contemplate getting fit with that? But anybody who's done Randy, it delivers the goods. Or what about something like Nancy? Now there's a 5-rounder, 400-meter runs, overhead squats with, once again, that pesky 95-pound barbell or 65-pound barbell. So when I took a step back, when somebody asked me what some of my favorite workouts are, this list that I'm giving could go on and on and on. But what jumped out to me was some of the commonalities. And so getting into what those commonalities are, I would say, these workouts that I mentioned, they're hard. They're really hard. And they're effective, and they're beautiful. And if somebody is interested in becoming a better programmer, there's a ton there to do that well, okay? But some just common tips or goals that I think would serve people well that I've learned over the years because I've made the mistakes is, don't confuse simple with easy. Just because a workout's simple does not mean that it's easy. And simple can sometimes keep the athlete moving, right? Because they're not unnecessarily loading them down. We're giving them opportunities to express intensity. And intensity is that critical factor to getting results, to improving your fitness. And so that's a huge deal as well. Of course, we're speaking about relative intensity. But then also less is more. When we just walked through these workouts, I talked about how it's the quote-unquote lighter bell, and I thought that it would be programmed these days with the heavier bell, or they wouldn't make it a 95-pound barbell, they'd make it a 135. All of those things have their place beyond a shadow of a doubt. However, if you're asking me for just some common rules that will serve you well most of the time, I find that a lot of times a reduction in a workout leads to a better workout than an addition to the workout. And so what I mean by that is when I'm laying out the next couple weeks, or a block of training, and I start to look back at where we've been, that helps me figure out where we need to go, and I roughly sketch out the next couple of weeks. That rough sketch will get polished and modified and polished and modified and refined over and over again until it's the final product that I put out to everybody. A lot of times in that polishing, in that refinement, it is a reduction, not an addition. So what I mean by that is maybe I created some 4-round workout that had a certain loading and had whatever it happens to be, and over the course of the next couple of weeks as I'm refining and polishing those workouts, that 4-round workout might stay 4 rounds, but maybe the barbell loading goes down. Or it might keep the barbell loading, but now instead of 4 rounds, I've decided it's going to be better at 3 rounds. Very rarely is it like, you know what? I got that 4-round workout there with that loading, but I really think the barbell needs to be 30% heavier and we need to go 5 rounds on this one. Every now and then, yes, that does occur because those things are necessary and they have their place. But if you're asking me for a general rule of thumb, then I will tell you most of the time a workout is made better, and I know that we could define what better means, but I'm just going to use that term. A workout is made better and more applicable to a large group of people with a simplification and a potential reduction rather than an addition. And again, simplification does not mean you made the workout easier by a long shot. As a matter of fact, usually the opposite, because you allow the athlete to keep moving. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Yep, variance is important. Yep, heavy days are important. Yep, heavy loading is important. We know these things, but this is where my mind went when I was asked that question about workouts that make me smile, and some of my favorite ones. So that was a fun question. Can't remember who asked it, but I appreciate the question, and hopefully that little bit of advice there at the end, if somebody is walking down the path of trying to become a competent programmer, I hope that treats you well. That a lot of the times look at the workout with the lens of, am I giving the athlete opportunities to express intensity? And usually that's going to be done not by overly burdening the athlete. Yep, you got to overburden them every now and then, intentionally and deliberately as it fits into training, but doing it all the time just gives people reasons to slow down, and that blunts the intensity, and that's not where we want to go. So that's it. I'm going to talk about something that is a little bit more on the brutal side because it fit. Linchpin's workout today is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's not like those workouts that I just mentioned, because that's actually what we needed today. We needed a big chunk of rugged work. Now, yesterday we did Annie, not a barbell in sight, 0 loading, sit-ups and double unders, short and sharp, doesn't beat you up. And that was directly done because today was going to be tough. So there's going to be this nice wave that occurs, this back and forth when you deliberately lay out what you're doing, and all those different pieces have their place, but just make sure that you're putting them there intentionally. Okay? All right, that's it. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk later.